Hey everybody, I'm Justin with AmericanTrucks.com, and today I'm taking a closer look at and installing the K&N Series 77 intake, available for all 2020 and newer 6.6 liter Gasser Silverado 2500s. Now, you should be checking out the K&N if you're looking for a premium, no tune required intake from, I would say, one of the most recognizable names in the category to add a little bit of pop of color under the hood, help increase the power and sound out of your 6.6 liter HD. So big features to mention here when talking about the Series 77 from K&N will include a small bump in power. That's something we always look forward to when talking about an aftermarket intake system such as this. And according to the gang over at K&N, you are going to be looking at around 20 horsepower, estimated around 3,700 RPM, which certainly worth pointing out here and is going to be realistically the best case scenario, I would say, for a majority of HD owners out there without using any custom or can tuning. But outside of power, other benefits here truck owners can look forward to do include that nice deep growl coming from your 6.6 liter Gasser under hard acceleration. And that's going to be thanks in part to what is called the open element or exposed element filter. Basically, unlike your factory airbox, which is sealed, the filter itself is essentially open. There's no lid, and therefore you will be hearing a lot more of that induction noise. Sounds awesome. So if you don't have an exhaust in your truck and you want to hear just a little bit more sound, kind of increase the experience of driving, this is certainly a good way to go. Now, outside of that, guys, owners have also talked to an increase in throttle response, and even in some rare cases, increased fuel economy have been mentioned in the review section as well. As always, guys, the point being here, check out those customer reviews. It's a great way to hear from fellow HD owners out there who have actually pulled the trigger on a part, installed it, and are going to give you their real world feedback. Good, bad, ugly, it doesn't matter. It's all available for you there in the customer review section. And while you're there, feel free to check out some of those customer images as well. But breaking down some of your individual components here of the Series 77 for the Gasser, you will receive, in this case, the single aluminum intake tube in addition to one of K&N's signature oiled filters. Now, one thing I do want to point out is that traditionally, at least I should say historically, the Series 77 from K&N has been unique in the fact that it features a polished aluminum intake tube. But as you can see here for the new HD, they've kind of gone with this metallic gunmetal finish, which I personally like. I think it's going to look real sharp under the hood. And you know, if you did want a little bit more flash, I would have to encourage other systems. But this is a nice change of pace from those traditional black systems that still allow you to see this thing, know that it's aftermarket, and just give you that nice modified look under the hood. Filter itself here, listen, this is what K&N is known most for, of course. This is their oiled cotton gauze filter. It is washable, it is reusable, and will essentially last you the life of your truck with proper maintenance. Speaking of maintenance, K&N says you can go up to 100,000 miles before this guy actually needs a good cleaning, depending on your driving conditions, of course. Now, one thing to note here with these filters, just make sure you oil them correctly after the cleaning for best performance out of the filter and the system itself. Now, aside from that, guys, the K&N system here will include your heat shield. I like this. It's going to tap into the lower portion of the airbox here, guys. It does include some weather stripping, so it will help seal to the underside of your hood to help block out that hot engine bay air. So you're getting kind of the benefits of a sealed enclosure, but with the sound benefits of those open element style filters. Now, I also like to point out here, finally, everything is included with this kit, guys, including all of your hardware, couplers, all that good stuff needed for the installation. Also like pointing out with the system such as the K&N, it is backed by the company's hassle-free lifetime warranty in case you should run into any issues. Switching gears, let's talk price, and admittedly the K&N stuff isn't always the most affordable. I'll be the first to admit that. And this system, the Series 77, is actually going to land, I would say, right in the middle of a couple of other very popular systems here for the Gasser trucks. For instance, you have the S&B kits. They're going to come in about 50 to maybe even $100 lower than the K&N. But on the higher side of the price spectrum, you have kits from AFE, for instance, which will come in about 50 to $100 more. So again, I think these guys are placed kind of right in the middle in that sweet spot, if you will, mid $400 range, which again, for an open enclosure system like this, certainly on the higher side of the price spectrum, So as always, guys, just kind of price shop around a little bit, see what you need most for your truck. Do you like the flash of the Series 77? Would you prefer a sealed enclosure instead? Regardless, at the end of the day, check out the rest of our selection and go from there. All right, guys, last but not least, it's install time. Now, installing a Cold Air is certainly, I would say, one of the easier mods you'll ever tackle with your truck. So therefore, the site's gonna stick to a solid 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. And call this one about 2 hours. I would say at absolute most to complete from start to finish. Even if you're a novice wrencher out there, 2 hours should definitely be more than enough time to get this system in place. But now to give you a better idea of just how to remove the factory intake, get the new K&N place at home, let's throw it out to the guys in the shop for our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown.
First to install, you need a 3/8 ratchet, a 10mm socket, a 3/8 extension, an 8, a 7, and a 1/4 socket, a 10mm wrench, a T20 socket, a 1/4 inch ratchet, a 3 and a 4mm Allen, a clip removal tool, and a Phillips head screwdriver. All right, today we're gonna be installing an intake on our Chevy 2500. First, we gotta uninstall a stock one, and then we'll install a new one. All right, first thing we need to do to get our air box off is we need to take our coolant pipe off of the back of the box and remove our PCV vent hose. All right, we're gonna grab our clip removal tool, and we're gonna go underneath the clips here and pull them off the air box. And just set that off the side out of the way. All right, for our vent hose here, all we have to do is push this tab in and then pull it off and do the same thing at the bottom. All right, now we are going to take our clamps off for our air box and our throttle body. They're both a 7mm bolt. The backside on the throttle body, it's gonna be very hard to see, but you can access it with an extension down behind the air box. All right, now once you have these clamps loose, you have a bracket back down at the bottom. You gotta remove a clip here, and then this 10mm bolt. And you can pull your intake tube out of the way. All right, we need to disconnect our mass airflow sensor and disconnect the wiring from the top of the airbox. First, we're gonna pull back on the locking tab, release our connector, and then get our clip removal tool and take the wiring off of the airbox. All right, we're gonna take our ratchet and we're gonna take our 8mm socket and take out all the screws that hold on the lid to the airbox. We can take our lid out of the way and our factory air filter. All right, we're gonna grab our clip removal tool. We're gonna take our 2 gray clips out of our intake manifold. All right, to get ready for our new intake, first thing we need to do is take our mass airflow sensor out. So we're gonna grab our ratchet and our T20 socket. All right, and just slide it straight out. All right, now to get our new intake ready, we need to install our mass airflow sensor with our supplied 3mm bolts and our 90-degree elbow for our vent tube. Now we're going to thread in our elbow. Just be very careful not to cross thread it. It is plastic going into metal, so it's very easy to do. All right, we're going to assemble our new supplied vent tube. We have our 2 ends, our hose, and our 2 hose clamps. Our hose clamps, the nuts on them are 1/4 size. So we'll stick our clamps over, stick our ends in, and tighten them down. All right, now we're gonna get our air box ready. We have our trim to go on, our adapter for our air filter, and our air filter itself. So first we're gonna start with our trim. Just gonna go over the end, slide it over the flat part, and work your way around. All right, now that's on all the way around. We are going to install our air filter adapter. There are 2 holes on the back. We will use our supplied 4mm bolts with our lock washers and flat washers. Stick it through the hole, line up the bolts. I'm gonna take our bolt, our lock washer, and flat washer, and thread them in. Take our Allen and tighten them down. All right, now we can come around the inside and we can install our air filter. We're gonna slide our clamp over our filter, slide it over the ends. Then we're gonna take our ratchet with our 8mm socket and tighten them down. All right, we're now gonna install our bracket. Our bracket is going to mount through the first set of holes with our supplied 10mm bolts and nuts. And just remember that the longer side will go towards the driver's side of the vehicle. All right, now we can secure our wiring harnesses down and our coolant pipe down. All right, we're gonna mount the air box now. We're gonna set it over top. We're gonna use our 7 supplied Phillips head screws. All right, we now put on our coupler, our intake pipe, and our 90-degree coupler. So we're gonna put our clamps over first. Slide over our intake box. Put our other clamp on. Now we can put our pipe into our couplers. All right, now that we have everything in place, we're gonna take our ratchet with our 8mm socket and tighten all of our clamps down. All right, we're gonna take our connector for our mass airflow sensor, plug that back in, secure the locking tab. All right, and now we install our vent tube. Just click it into place. All right, and that wraps up our install of our K&N Series 77 High Flow Performance Cold Air Intake for our 2020 and newer 6.6 liter gas Silverado 2500 HD. And remember, for everything Silverado, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.